morning, good afternoon, good evening, good whatever it is, wherever you are. My name is Katie O, and this is Moon Mama Musings. Sorry, I'm just gonna make a little adjustment right there. Happy full moon. Full moon in Aries is what we're talking about today. The full moon in Aries happens on the 20th of October, 2021 at 21:56 p.m. Bangkok time. Very lovely, lovely, lovely full moon. I've got a little bit of an oracle spread for you. I've got some tarot cards cleaned out and ready for you. And we're just going to give a little bit of a background about what to expect over this full moon. A little bit of a reading here. Before I start, though, I just wanted to kind of talk a little bit about the sign of Aries and the moon in Aries. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. Yeah, it starts off at Aries and ends at Pisces. And this is a bit of it's a bit of a paradoxical full moon in a bit of a way, because the full moon is about the calm. It's about the peak of the energy. It's about release, and Aries is about starting fresh. Okay, so we are looking at it's a very death and rebirth kind of a way, as always. The door closing and the new thing opening. We're looking at the fresh faced new beginning that is Aries of the moon cycle, as well as experiencing a knowing that there are parts that fall away when we start something fresh. Yeah. Aries, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. It's a good start. It's a fresh start. It's something new. It's something different. And like I said, it's the first in the zodiac. So we are beginning a brand new, fresh phase, cycle of the moon going through the zodiac. And how appropriate that we are on the verge of Scorpio season. That happens on the 23rd. And yeah, it feels big. It feels really big. It's super intense. It's really big. It's hardcore. Yeah. It's there's something about making decisions about what we truly want for the future, owning our passion, calling forth the things that we really desire, and unlocking our heart once and for all. Yeah, releasing restrictive patterns and things like that. I mean, it's general themes of the full moon, but with this moon in Aries, I really feel like it's the first day. It's a very necessary step in the 3D beginnings of new things for us. All right. So right up here, crowning your spread, you've got two cards here. I'm going to write all the decks that I used in the description box. We have higher perspective and power. So this full moon in Aries, we are coming into our fiery power. Yeah, Aries is a fire sign. It's the cardinal fire sign, which means it's the first. It's the one that starts off the element. It's often the most. It's like Aries is explosive. It's ready to go. It's ready to start. It's doing something new. It's beautiful stuff. This power card always reminds me of the Ace of Wands too, which is about a new fiery, passionate beginning. And I think that this is perfectly reiterating sort of what was whispered in my little ears about what was going on for this particular full moon. Higher perspective, though, we've gained some sort of a higher perspective with regards to all the things that are going on right now, and it's helping us understand this wand once and for all, this power that we have within us. This is very sacral chakra energy. We're understanding our sacral chakra, understanding what lights a fire in our belly, and seeing that there's more to it than just what the 3D allows you to think about this, right? Because if you look at this, you're like, okay, it's a stick. Great. Yeah, but you can light it on fire. You can poke your friend in the eye with it. You can write your name in the sand with it. Ha ha ha. No, there's a higher perspective to be gained right now. And I believe that finding this power is allowing us to release the old limiting beliefs that kept us from seeing this higher perspective. We got this upside down new moon sort of at the center of this, and it's counteracted by the shape of these wings, which shows me that maybe there's been some communication or some sort of development lately that's allowed you to understand the cycles that have been presented to you. You've had some illumination, some enlightenment, some understanding of the greater picture of things that brings you straight into your empowerment. You're feeling exalted and ready for anything that's going to happen now. Yeah, It's really lovely. You've been guided for some time that something new was coming, and you were like, when is it going to come? When is it going to come? When is it going to come? But we've released any sort of restrictions or resistances that are keeping this fire from finally bursting forth from us, like in the alien coming out of the chest, you know, like, yeah. We're not holding anything back anymore, and we're allowing some sort of a flow to bring us in the direction that we're meant to be. We have the thread. This is number 70. The thread. We've got some very strong knowing that something is meant for us, and it's pulling us. It's pulling us. We might have before been pulling on it, trying to draw it in, but we just kept on bringing in more and more lengths of string. And when you finally stopped pulling and we're just holding the string in your hand, you get pulled by it. There's this energy that we, for a long time, we were trying to we were trying to do too much. We were trying to manipulate the situation. We were trying to change things. We were trying to move things around. We were trying to force this enlightenment, force this alignment, and it just brought us further and further into darkness. Just left us with a giant pile of matted, horrible string. Yeah, I used to talk about that. The like being this like ball of string that you find in the back of your, like you move the couch one day to clean, and there's this like huge pile of yarn that's all like, and you just spend an afternoon picking it all apart. Yeah, not easy, right? Well, we want to, if we would have stopped pulling on the string, we would have never gotten ourselves in that mess in the first place. And we just would have held on to it and allowed it to let us know when to go. That would have been the right idea. This reminds me a lot of cave diving too. So there's this idea that when you're doing any sort of diving in an overhead environment, you're following a line, is you never hold on to the string. You kind of have your hand going around it, yeah? So that you pass your hand over it, but you're never pulling on it unnecessarily. Because the thing is that when you're in an overhead environment, often you're one behind the other, going to it, all holding onto this string. And the way that you communicate with each other when you can't see each other is by pulling on the string. So everybody is told to sort of keep their hands away from the string so that you don't tug on it unnecessarily, or you don't pull it from its anchoring, or you don't put unnecessary stress on it, because this is our lifeline, right? This string is our lifeline that guides us into and out of this particularly dark situation, yeah? And when we need to, we pull and we tug. So when you just kind of hold that string that way with it just passing freely between your fingers, you're going to feel when it moves, when it gets tugged on, yeah? But you're not going to accidentally tug on it to really raise false flags, yeah? It's really, really interesting. It brings us into alignment when we understand that too. I'm seeing with this rainbow. Rainbows have been a really big theme lately. It's interesting. All this is because we're finally, this higher perspective that we're getting and this empowerment we're getting is because we've experienced a crown chakra awakening, an opening up of our crown chakra. Some of you guys have had a kundalini awakening as well, where there's all this potential energy that was being stored down in your root chakra has blasted forth, and now you're becoming this beautiful beacon. You're shining. Your crown chakra is open. And this allows you to exchange information with the universe in a much more ready way. Your resistances before were keeping you from doing that. Sorry if I hit your nose. We're keeping you from doing that, and it led to confusion. It led to mucky information. It led to you just I'm hearing you couldn't trust even yourself, because the energy was so volatile, because you were trying so desperately hard to control it and grasp it and put words to it and put labels on it, that it ruined the natural flow of it all. The frequency of the crown chakra, the violet flower of life, supports our spiritual connection to the universe and our ability to transmute negative energy into light, right? We're in the cave, dark, deep in the darkness. We had the ability to transmute this energy all of the time, but pulling on the string wasn't helping us. And when we finally allowed the flow of the universe to let us do and to give us the cues as needed be, that's when we were able to illuminate this reminds me a lot of, it looks like ink in water. Yeah. Like the ink is so dark that you might not be able to see the sunlight through the water. But once it kind of dissipates, the light comes back. Interesting. Okay. The perfect key, number 29. All of this work that we've been doing, all of this is allowing us to align with something that we desire. Excuse me. Hiccups. Don't be nervous. Everything's okay. You closed your heart away. for a long, long, long time, and it's because you didn't trust yourself. Yeah, you needed to come to terms with your solar plexus chakra and bring everything up, and feel your self confidence and feel your self determination and feel your willpower in a certain sense as well. You needed to demonstrate to yourself that you could dedicate for the long haul to something that maybe wasn't so obvious. Yeah, but you followed your little bird on your shoulder. Yeah, maybe for a long time though, this little bird on your shoulder was meddling energy. There was people whispering in your ears. You had too many cooks in the kitchen, and everyone was going, here's the right key, 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 here's the right key. Many options, yeah, many options. You constantly had little whispers in your ear that, oh, this is going to be great for you, oh, this is going to be great for you, this is going to be great for you. You always knew what the key was. You didn't need this was all kind of a test to kind of try and divert you. But you're in alignment now, and you know very well that you've always had the key. You've always had the key, and you're ready to open it up now. You're still kind of side-eyeing this little bird, going like, when is it going to shut up? I'm just going to wait for it to shut up, and then I'm going to open this key, because then it's going to be safe. Interesting. Safety. Because then it's going to be safe. I heard somebody say that. I'll unlock this when it's safe. I'll unlock my heart when it's safe. What is safety? What does that mean to you? What does safety mean to you? How do you know if you're safe or not? Because, like, we talked about that lifeline, right? You're totally safe if you've got your hand along the string, totally fine, and you've discussed and communicated openly with your teammates that this one pull means let's go forward, 2 pulls is stop, 3 pulls is let's go back, yeah? As long as you've discussed the terms and you all have a procedure and you're all able to be on the same page and respect the procedure, even if you get a little scared, then everything will go fine. That's your lifeline. That line is your safety. If you abuse it, that's not going to be safe. Hanging on to it for dear life, that's not safe. It's not safe. It's not safe. All right? So be very careful with what you think safety is. Yeah, sometimes we fool ourselves into believing that the thing that we know, the energy that we're in, the stuff that we've already discovered, the devil you know is better than the devil you don't. That's resistance, my friend. The crown chakra is open now. We're opening ourselves up to our empowerment, to the passion that we have within us. And there's no more space for this when it's safe. Right now it's safe. It's always safe because you create your own safety, okay? And if you don't think that it's safe, it's because you don't trust yourself to make a safe environment for yourself. And that's wherein has lied a lot of our problems in the past. This is what this full moon is about. It's about getting rid of these false notions that oh, only when it's safe. It's safe when you say it's safe. And that's when you own your own stuff. That's when you sit in your yellow solar plexus energy. That's when you stop seeing the sacral chakra as a sex pot and not a beautiful hub of creativity. That's when you stop worrying about all these constructs that you were adopted by your upbringing, by your external environment, instead of listening to your inner being. All right, I pulled out from the Angelarium deck, and it pulled out the very same card from live that I recorded. Actually, I'm recording this today on the 16th, and I pulled this card on the live, and I didn't read the book, and I thought I had to, and I didn't. And when they pull out a card again, that's often because I missed something. So I'm gonna read this. This is Chesed. This is the right hand. This is empathy. Yeah. Look at this. Shows me a little bit of Four of Pentacles energy, right? Holding that heart. Yeah. If you hold this, you're blocking a fulcrum of energy. Yeah, literally a fulcrum of energy. Because we have the column here, and then we have the give and the take between the hands. And when you block up your heart, nothing works properly. Empathy helps you with that, I'm hearing. Trying to put yourself in other people's shoes helps you with that. Understanding other people's situations helps you come into a little bit more balance. All right, the 4th emanation, the hand that embraces, the healing tears brought on by the forgiveness of sins, each kindness repaid in kind. Chesed's force pulls humanity together, allowing peace to exist between us. This is the power to look inside the hearts of those around us and see that we are truly alike. Our need for love and kindness is an essential part of our existence and transcends all other differences we might have. The blue orb's embrace extends across all existence. Chesed is at the very center of the pillar of mercy. Defining its core characteristic and forming an extreme opposite to its female counterpart, Javura, the two arms of the tree extend in opposite directions. Chesed pulls tight so that Javura cannot push away. This wrestling match cannot be won on either side, yet the struggle itself is meaningless, because it's the struggle that defines our morality, found in kindness, charity, and love. I love this. This brings us back to our polarity feelings. This is what I talked about in the peephole today, actually. I said that it was like the moon and the sun in opposition is like they're sitting across the table from one another and having a discussion about what's the game plan, what do we do here, what have we done, how do we do, what's next, all of this stuff. This is the discussion, is you need to have the right and the left hand in balance. You need to have give and take. You can't only have one. You need to have both, and there needs to be some tears for that to happen. There is this surrender that's important to get all of this to come together, and it's you can't have push without pull. You can't have love without hate. It's all relative. It's all important. And the empathy allows you to understand the polarity of this situation. When you put yourself in somebody else's shoes, you could see how they can't be it's like you. I'm going to go back to an old example I used to use. Is you had a colleague that used to drive you crazy because they were always late. Yeah, they were always late. And they always disrupted the meeting and whatever. And then you ended up having a situation where, like, something so out of your circumstance, like literally it was like you had 2-3 weeks straight of like you couldn't get your shit together, and like circumstances, you missed the bus, your car broke down, you're like everything, like the aliens abducted you, there was an oil slick from James Bond driving past, whatever, it's everything, and you ended up being late. And then it was like you can understand finally, oh man, okay, maybe we have to not point so many hard fingers. We need to understand that there are others, there's like circumstance involved in every situation. If we judge someone too quickly, we might not be being so fair. But the empathy of it is you can better understand yourself when you understand others, and vice versa. You can better understand others when you better understand yourself. So there is this very chicken and egg concept of you coming into empowerment, of understanding this higher perspective because you've connected to others. You've had experiences, because you can look objectively at other people's behavior because of your own way that you acted, or vice versa. It's a very, very, very interesting balance of all this. It's very interesting. All right, so that's just a little intro. Now we're going to get into a little tarot. I've pulled you a little spread. We're going to anchor it with the Fool card. We're going to use the Tarot de la Nuit for the base spread, and then the Tarot del Toro for the clarifications. I know that the Fool is not traditionally a card that you use for Aries, but it's the first of the major arcana, just like Aries is the first of the zodiac, and I like them together. The Aries always feels like a leap of faith energy to me, and that's the definition. That's like the traditional sort of catchphrase of the Fool. Okay. Let's try this again. I'm not going to take any of those. They just kind of verbal. Okay, fine. I will take this one. I will take that one. I need 3 more, please. Sorry. All the way out, please. Two more, please. This way. Okay, so I made a little spread for you. I've anchored it with the Fool card, representing the energy of the full moon in Aries. Pardon me. The first one is, what seeds from April 12th's full moon in Aries, new moon in Aries, are now visibly come to fruition? All right, what happened with that new moon in Aries? What did we ask for? What did we desire? What did we try to cultivate? What are these flowers? So whatever it is that we were trying to cultivate, it's coming to fruition in terms of a dark night of the soul. So right now there is a little bit of the Angel of the Night in this deck it's a special card, and it's all about the dark night of the soul. It's about going through the shadows, and about the beauty of going through the shadows, because we know that it brings us to a greater place. When we make friends with the darkness, we're more able to paint the stars into the sky of our own existence. Let's get a little clarity on this. Angel delight me. Actually, no, let's go through the whole spread and then I'll come back for the clarity. All right. The second card is what is being cleared right now to make room for this new, this whatever new is coming. And that's the judgment. We are being asked to stop passing judgment on other people. We are being asked to not quickly, yeah, I mean, exactly what I was saying before, is we're being asked to not just like knee-jerk react anymore. We're being asked to be more calm, cool, and collected, more calculative, taking these baby steps, being more comfortable. We need to clear out the shadows now to make room for this new verdict that's being taking place as well. Judgment card can also mean like the judgment is being passed, right? Justice is being served in a sense. That the decision is going to come to fruition. So what we're clearing right now is whatever happened in the new moon led us to some large dark night of the soul. We had to do a lot of shadow work. We've been working in our shadows a lot, and now we need to we're looking to clear out that energy in order to pass through some sort of a portal, yeah, into better days. The third card is how do we best ground myself to not fear this leap of faith, and that's the Nine of Wands. This is not giving up. Sometimes the Nine of Wands is the wounded warrior, and it's going to be this sort of like trudging their feet kind of thing, but I'm not getting that from this today. I'm saying getting back on the horse, not giving up. Understanding that just because the horse bucked us off and threw us doesn't mean that it's no longer a valid form of transportation, all right? We still need to get back on the horse, and even if we've been hurt in the past, bless you, little pig. Bless you again, 3 sneezes, wow. Yeah, my dog's under the table. Yeah, not giving up. Just not giving up is going to help us get through this tumultuous energy, because we're going through the thick of the shadows now. Yeah, we're getting rid of them, but we still are. It's always darkest before the dawn. I've been channeling that song for fucking ages. Anyway, number 4, the last card here is what is the new beginning that we're carrying in, and that's the Page of Cups. This is some of you guys mermaids are super important, but this is the Page of Cups. The page is can be a messenger, yeah. You can have a message in love coming for you, a message, some sort of a transmission that's going to be very emotional for you. That's gonna lift your heart. You might look at it side eye a little bit. Look at her face there. She's like, I don't know if I can trust this. But it is. You can trust it. You can believe in this now. There's a fish in your cup, and you love it. Yeah, I've talked a little bit about the Page of Cups in today's live as well, so it's interesting. Yeah, we'll talk about under the deck afterwards, because the card did. Okay, no, they're saying it's not the end of the deck. They're saying don't worry about the end of the deck. It's not that important. Okay, they're saying mention it. Okay, it's the Hermit. The Hermit is under the was the first under the deck. Yeah, the Hermit and the Six of Swords with the Page of Wands and the Death card. Okay. And the King of Cups. So there's been a mini hermit stage lately, but that's going to lead us to great success. It's going to allow us to move into calmer waters, because we are going to be, even though we're not fully sure exactly where we're going, we're going to be ready to make that leap of faith. We got the Page of Wands here, and Page of Wands is Aries energy. It's for me, it's the minor arcana version of the Fool. This is definitely like we're making a leap of faith because something has died. And if it's not something that we've allowed to die, it's something that's slipped out of our fingers, but for a very good reason. And this is because it's bringing us our fulfillment in emotion. Yeah. But alongside this Page of Cups, what is this new beginning that we're calling in? We're feeling a little bit. We feel like a bit of a newbie with regards to our emotions, with whatever is coming in with us. Yeah, it's something that we've never. Ouch! Sorry, my knees are really sore. It's something that we've never quite done before. We don't really know. We're Haven. We're getting to we're coming to terms with our emotions, right? but we are guaranteed success. We are dedicated to it. The Knight of Pentacles and the Page of Cups together is we're willing to move forward at whatever pace. I'm hearing whatever pace needs to be in order to fully understand and to bring this cup into fruition. Yeah, we might not really fully understand why the fish is in the cup yet, but we are gonna fucking figure it out, and we're gonna make it happen in the real world. That's what I'm hearing. Okay, let's go back here. So again, what seeds from April 12th are finally sprouting? What seeds from the new moon in Aries are finally sprouting? Angel Dedanimi, please clarify for this for me. What is this Dark Night of the Soul vibes? Okay, we have the Seven of Cups. Okay. Back around the new moon, we asked for options. Yeah, we felt stuck. And we asked, hey, can we please have some better options? Can we have some better options? Can we do something differently? And they were like, what do you want? And you're like, I don't know, anything. And then that's where this sort of like skull cup came in, where they were like, well, you said you wanted something. Yeah. You said you wanted something. You didn't really specify it. You said, I want something to stir it up a little bit. Yeah, an earthquake stirs it up just as much as a new puppy. Okay, so you didn't really specify, and that's and it's because you couldn't choose. You couldn't choose. Some of you guys were okay. There was a situation from your past that you originally really felt emotionally connected to that broke your heart and led you to sabotage yourself. Because it led you to cut your, I'm hearing you cut your nose off to spite your own face. Yeah, you cut your nose off to spite your own face. Yeah, you knew that there was something happening. You called in your legacy. You were calling in your legacy, but because you couldn't, you were calling in your legacy. You wanted, in the new moon, you were sowing the seeds of something better, right? You were calling in the Ten of Pentacles that you felt like you were meant for, right? You felt like you were meant for it. But because you didn't make a decision, they just started kind of throwing you whatever. You said, no, I don't want the same thing from the past because it hurts me. But you never really said what exactly that it was that you want. So they were like, okay, well, we're going to bring you this thing again. And you're like, no. And they're like, but okay, but you didn't say what you wanted, so we're going to bring you this, right? And they're like, no. And they're like, okay, but do you know what you want yet? And you're like, stuff. And they're like, okay, well, here's this. And they're like, no, I don't want that. So there's this energy of you weren't willing to do the work. Yeah. You weren't willing to do the work for the thing that you asked for in the new moon. So you got a Dark Night of the Soul. Because you need to be able to know who you are to ask for what's best for you. And you didn't. That's why the Seven of Cups came out right away. So you didn't know who you are. Who you were. So you're finally understanding who you are. Yeah? And this is really beautiful too, because the Queen of Swords in the upright and the Ten of Pentacles in the upright, right? The Queen of Swords in the upright is not a scary thing. Yeah, okay, you cut off your nose to spite your face at one point because you didn't want to admit you were wrong, or you didn't want to admit that thing from your past that you cut away or that hurt you is actually meant for you. But now you've transformed because you know that your legacy is more important than the details of how it comes in. And you're willing to accept offers and accept as long as they come correct. Because that's what the Queen of Swords often does, is she lets things come. She always entertains whoever wants to come into her court. But if they don't come in right and pay their due diligence and pay their respects to the Queen, off with their heads. All right. 2, what's being cleared to make room for the things that we want? Judgment. Yeah, what do we want? To walk through this passageway. When do we want it? Now. What do we have to do? Stop judging everything around us. All right, let's get some clarification. Why is the Judgment card here? because the Empress, because you want to be an Empress, because you want all the things, you're fertile with all these beautiful ideas, right? You want all these gorgeous things. You want to sit in your feminine energy and receive from the universe all these gifts. But you didn't know what you wanted, so you got told to go back and evaluate and figure out what it is that you want. They were saying you needed to even pass some judgments on the things so that you realized what it is that you didn't want. Okay, but they don't want you to judge everything now. They need you to put that judgment, because it was really important for you to be in a judgmental energy for some time so that you could realize what it was from your past, from those old cycles that didn't work for you, that you didn't like. And now that you know what you don't want, you're more able to actually decide, hey, this is who I am and this is what I want. But they don't want you to be in that judgmental energy now. They want you to be in a receiving energy right now. You need to release this you need to hold on, let me just clarify it. Give me a little bit more information. Why are these cards here? What is it that we're clearing? What is being cleared to make room for this Empress energy that's coming in? For us coming into ourselves, for us sprouting our wings. Wow. Valet of Wands. This is the Page of Wands again. This is the Fool. This is the leap of faith. I'm getting this little image of a kid running around the neighborhood and knocking on all the doors and going, can Billy come out to play? Can Susie come out to play? Can Jimmy come out to play? That's what we're getting rid of. It's the inability to sit still and to accept what's happening around us. It's this, what needs to be cleared is, it's a Jack of all trades, master of none energy, first of all, for some of you. So putting your fingers in all the pots, trying like a little bit of this career, a little bit of that career, a little bit of this ice cream, a little bit of that ice cream. That's what needs to be cleared out. Page of Wands. Trying everything before you commit. They want you to be more sure of your commitment. They want you to be sure of your convictions. You were being too wishy-washy before. You were being too wishy-washy. Yeah, you weren't able to finish projects. You'd start something and run away from it before it was done. It's the running away before when it gets hard. That's what needed to be cleared away. Give me a little bit more here. Six of Wands and the Queen of Cups. Oh, look at this. Yeah. Oh, look at this. So we've got the Knight of Cups and the Six of Wands. Six of Wands is victory. You thought that in order to be victorious, you needed to have a silver tongue. You needed to manipulate people to accept your cup. That's what you're getting rid of. It's bad ideas. You thought that you would need to manipulate people to accept your emotions, to accept your emotional offers, to accept your love, to accept you, to accept the truth of you. That's what I'm hearing. Yeah. You wanted to be the Empress, but you were being the Valet the Valet of Wands, the Page of Wands. You wanted to be a Queen of Queens. Yeah, receive from the energies of the universe, be able to be fruitful in our ideas, passionate, balanced, beautiful Venusian energies, right? Taurus energies, yeah, stable, secure. But instead we were being a Page of Wands, a Jack of all trades, master of none, a wishy-washy, starting things and not finishing them. And the reason why we were doing that was because every time things got hard, we were like, oh my God, I'm going to get rejected if I don't use my silver tongue to convince people that I'm a winner. That's what's being thrown away right now. That's what's being moved. Judgment. You were judging yourself a lot of the time. You were saying, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. The only way I'll get what I want is if I use my silver tongue. The only way I'll get what I want is if I manipulate people to think that my cup is the most important, the only cup that was valid. Yeah. And you needed to heal from that Four of Swords on the bottom of the deck. You needed to heal from that energy. You were always good enough just as you were. You always were good enough just as you were, and now you're finally releasing that shitty self-doubt, Eight of Swords energy. Okay, how do we best ground ourselves? Not giving up, right? Getting right back on the horse, even though I get knocked down, but I get up again. You ain't never gonna keep me down. Yeah, look at that, the Tower. There has been massive, huge, crazy energies. Oh my God, Tower. And then we have the Six of Cups and Two of Pentacles, Two of Cups. So you had a soulmate, you had a lover, you had a dream job, you had a great home in the past, but everything came tumbling down with it. Everything came tumbling down with it. And you thought that, yeah, this brought you sleepless nights, and it was such a burden, and this made you, King of Pentacles, completely get so caught up in the way that things were in the 3D. You were so caught up in the burdens that you had, in the lack of sleep, and the demons that were knocking on your door. You were caught up in your real world crap. Maybe your money situation was really difficult for some time. Maybe you didn't know if you were going to make it. Maybe you didn't know if you were going to have to call bankruptcy. I'm calling. Maybe some of you didn't know if you'd be able to pay the rent or feed your children, or you didn't know if just like the burdens were going to keep piling up. Like, this is a lot of swords and a lot of wands. All right. You didn't know if you were just going to be caught up on this, and it made you shut yourself. It made you get really, it turned you into a wounded warrior, where you were like not sure of what the hell was going on, and you weren't. But how do we ground this now? How do we ground this now? How do we ground this now? Is releasing the burden. Yeah. Releasing the burden, getting more rest. First of all, getting more rest. Ground yourself by sleeping. Get some sleep. Relax this weekend, okay? Relax over this full moon. It's really important to ground yourself. Go out into nature, go into water, go play in the dirt. 5 of Cups and 10 of Pentacles. This could be 555. Five of Pentacles in reverse. We're getting rid of this lack mentality so that we can call in our, yeah, that's what they're saying, is throw out all the cups. No, just throw out those cups. Let the tsunami come. Purge. I'm hearing purge. Feel this feeling. The 5 of Cups actually in the Tarot de la Nuit is actually a really beautiful card that depicts a queen that's fallen from her crown. She's fallen from grace. It talks about the angel that's fallen from grace. And maybe you fell from grace. Maybe you had it all figured out, or you thought you had it all figured out at some point, and then everything fell down around you because the universe was telling you that you were too caught up in your emotion, in your physical world. But when you started to actually feel about your physical world, you were throwing away your emotions for a long time, and you weren't willing to own up to the fact that you were caught up. You were choked up. You were feeling insecure. You were feeling vulnerable about this lack of. Maybe some of you guys were not feeling so good about your finances, and you really thought that you would lose it all. But you're now coming to terms with the fact that you had to humble yourself before you could build yourself back up. That the tower had to fall so that the unsteady crap. I said crap. They showed again the Valley of Goblets. That slick tonguedness. We've got to get rid of that. It was holding us. It's been holding us back all this time. It's been holding us back. How do we ground ourselves? Don't tell yourself nasty stories. Stop feeding into the illusions. Yeah. They're telling me to tell you again, start preaching that thing again. What I used to say all the frickin' time, no matter how impossible or improbable, it's coming. Things are coming for you. All right, and last but not least, what is this new beginning that we're calling in? Okay, guaranteed success. Even if dedication to understanding our cup, dedication to moving to speaking our emotional truth, no matter what. Yeah. We understand that when we held back our truths before, especially with regards to our emotions, when we refused to be vulnerable, it just fucked us over. And now we want to dedicate ourselves to vulnerability. We want to dedicate ourselves to being comfortable in the unknown. We want to dedicate ourselves to putting our cup forward all of the time, immersing ourselves in the water, doing all of that wonderful stuff. going to start with these two triplets first. Okay. The Star in reverse, 10 of Wands, and the High Priestess. There was a lot of stuff that you didn't really understand, that you felt were being kept secret from you. You felt like people were deceiving you. You felt that there was something that you couldn't have access to, that there was like a authority figure between you and the information that you needed. But that idea, it was the idea of all of that was burdening you, in fact, and it was keeping you from your healing. Because in the end, the thing is that you've known all along that this burden was no good for you, and that it was keeping you from your star, from your North Star, keeping you from moving forward. You knew that you would have to release these burdens eventually, so that you could chase your North Star, so that you could figure it out. I'm hearing, like, this is the away with the fairies. You were away with the fairies. You were delusional. You were deluding yourself. You were lying to yourself for so long. Okay, so long. And that was that energy of like, why is this fish in this cup? Why is this taking so long? Yeah. But we're turning these upright, and we're understanding that we dedicate ourselves, we get results, and that the fish is there because it's meant to be, because prosperity is coming for us, and we're going to feel good about it. Strength in reverse, the Hermit in reverse, and the Knight of Goblets. Yeah. The Knight of Cups, right? This is an evolution, right? We have the Page of Cups here. These energies here are going to allow us to move into our Knight of Cups energy, where we're able to move forward on our emotions, where we're going to be able to act in a balanced emotional way, that we're going to be able to offer our cup to people, very healthily and openly. But first, we need to sort this out. Okay, again, it's another way of saying it. The Hermit in reverse and Strength in reverse is we were in some sense of things, we were resisting the surrender and heal energy because we were afraid. Strength in reverse is fear for me. It's fear, pure fear. Strength upright is conquering that fear. Strength in reverse is fear. We're afraid of being left alone with the Hermit in reverse as well. We're afraid of being abandoned. We're afraid of being shut out. We're being afraid of being banished. The Hermit in reverse can be somebody who's been banished. We're afraid of that. We don't like being banished. We don't like not getting what we don't want, right? But it's because we've not been able to, in the past, be open about our emotion. And that's what stopped us all along. But what's on the other side of this? Five of Swords and the Lovers. Sorry, I'm just getting my wits about me on this. Okay. You and your counterpart were both fighting each other off, but the sword of truth is becoming apparent now. You're still denying it a little bit, but that's what the full moon is all about, is you're going to be turning this sword upright. Look, see how these knives, they're facing off. Yeah, and the Five of Swords is often about being unfair, being cruel, being trying to take all of it for ourselves. Yeah, trying to it's playing an unfair game. What a wicked thing to say. You never felt that way. What a wicked thing to do. Make me dream of you. Yeah, you and your counterpart have been dreaming of each other and all of this wonderful stuff. You've been dreaming of this counterpart. You know it. It's wonderful. But you've been fighting it off, okay? And Archangel Michael's sword of truth doesn't care how much you fight. It is truth. It's just up to you how long it takes. Knight of Pentacles, again, can be a very slow-moving energy. So maybe the longer it takes for you to accept this sort of truth, you're just going to continue sitting in stagnancy, I'm hearing. Interesting. All right. Oh, I don't need that. So that's the end of it. That's our tarot spread. I'm going to pull, let's get a little bit of advice from you from our bag of tricks. There we go. Right, crowning the spread. Express love. I'm telling you. It's a huge. We are now. I just heard cat got your tongue. Cat got your tongue. Yeah, we were afraid of being vulnerable for so long. And that's what put us in this dark night of the soul, because we had to come to terms with our vulnerability being a virtue. A virtue, they're saying, they're repeating it, a virtue. It's a virtue, it's a virtue, it's a virtue, it's a virtue. It's not your downfall, it's a virtue. And I hear you guys, I hear you guys, I hear you guys. Okay. Get what I want and express love. Do you want something? Ask for it. I would like $1 million, please. I would like a stable, balanced, emotionally stable. I'm trying to, yeah, okay, now I have. Let's just stick with $1 million. I'd like $1 million, please. Express your love. Express your love to somebody if you want to get what you want, okay? Or if they come speaking to you, make sure that you do. If someone comes to speak to you, be sure to open your heart and receive them in an open way. As well as if you have to go and speak to somebody, make sure that you've got your heart on your sleeve. I'm hearing you can't hold back anymore. If I'm hearing there's some of you guys that are involved in a situation right now that, like, this really is the very, 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 very last chance for romance. And if you guys don't come correct to each other, it's off the table. It's gone forever. If you want this to happen, you've got to do it. You've got to do it now. And it's got to, you can't hold back. You can't lie to each other. You have to be honest. You have to be fully transparent with the other person. And so do they have to be with you. And if they're not, you're going to know very well that, no, this is not for me. But I'm hearing that you guys actually have to, like, try and express it to yourselves, because you'll never know until you actually speak to this person. Apart, travel, who am I? Okay. Yeah, you got you got thrown apart from somebody because you had no idea who you were, and or you got moved very far away from your destiny because you didn't know who you were. Some of you guys took some travel for you to figure it out. I'm hearing that actually some of you could have already done that. That trip was already, yeah, it's already happened. You took a trip. Oh, look at that. You took a trip to figure out who you were, and it's bringing you back into unity with yourself. It's bringing you back into unity with yourself. I'm hearing that some of you guys expected to be brought into unity with somebody else when you took this trip, and in fact, it only just brought you to yourself, which is good, which is beautiful. I like that. Unfulfilled, cuddle, and sex. Oof. Okay, some of you guys you're craving it. Yeah, you're thirsty. You want intimacy, though. You don't just look. It's cuddle and sex and unfulfilled. Some of you guys have an unfulfilled situation where there is a lot of love. There's a lot of intimacy to be had. There's a lot of that, but it didn't come to fruition. Didn't come to fruition so far, and you're still thinking about it. Yeah. But either way, what's unfulfilled right now is that you are seeking a balance. Yeah, you want someone who lights your fire, and you want someone who fills your cup. Yeah, you want that. That's kind of what I was. Yes, thank you, Spirit. That's what I was trying to say before after I asked for $1 million. Yes, I feel unfulfilled in my romantic relationships, and I would like somebody that I can't wait to screw the brains out all day long, but I also want to have heart to hearts and cuddle with them and do cool things and go on adventures, travel, conversations. Like this is all the stuff that you're desiring right now. Persistence, intimacy, innocent. You don't have to see intimacy as a bad thing anymore, okay? Yeah, okay. Some of you guys had some uncomfortable passes with intimacy, but you've healed yourself now. So keep on working, and you are going to be able to find this beautiful, comfortable intimacy, because you're just filtering through the last little bits of your shadow work so that you can come into union with this beautiful, wonderful, innocent, gorgeous leap of faith in terms of intimacy. Keep in mind, too, intimacy doesn't always involve sex. Intimacy doesn't always involve romance. Intimacy is just, oh my God, what was that quote? Oh God, I don't have the book with me right now. There's a quote, is that intimacy is the ability to connect with somebody else on an essence level. Yeah, it's bearing your soul to somebody in order to be connected. And that's why sex isn't always intimate. Yeah. Unless you're actually connecting souls with someone, then you're not having, it's It's like the difference between making love and having sex. I don't like saying that kind of stuff, but like, I know that's, I mean, there's a big difference between somebody that you're sleeping with to itch a scratch, or scratch an itch rather, than with somebody that you're desiring sexual intimacy with because you have a soul connection with them. Be firmer, the same damn thing, and hug. Some of you guys are being called to give it a shot again. I'm hearing there's an action that you used to do that you were doing from the wrong reasons, but they want you to try again. It's not the same damn thing. All right, you've got to be more. You've got to be more convicted. Again, this is firmer in your convictions. This is what I was saying. Firmer in your convictions. You want to offer warmth to somebody, and they want to offer warmth to you. And you're worried that it's going to be the same damn thing. You're worried you're going to get the anvil dropped on your head. But no, you've got to be firmer in your convictions, and it's by grounding yourself, I'm hearing. You've really got to ground yourself, because again, you're still like, you're still thinking, no, it's going to hurt me again. It's going to bite me again. It's going to bite me again. It's going to bite me again. Everything is different now. Self-love and move away. Some of you guys need to take a brief little, some of you guys need to move house. Some of you guys need to change scenery. Some of you guys need to get away. But either way, there is a transformation of the way that you see self-love now. Okay, it's not the same. You thought that you needed to do all of the, I don't know, you thought you had to act a certain way in order to love yourself, and they're asking you to move away from that. It's not that simple. There's more to it. And in fact, you trying to do it that way was just, it was ostracizing you even more. It was putting you in a little box. You don't want to be in a box, do you? Love yourself. Move away from, that's the other thing, is move away from those old boxes that you used to live in. Close yourself in. I made an illusion last week at some point to your inner child. Was like, you put your inner child in a box and put it at the back of the garage, and the boxes just keep piling up around it, piling up. Yeah, let that child out of the box. Okay, let that child out of the box. Anyway, I hope that made sense for you guys. I hope it resonated. That's your full moon reading for this full moon in Aries. I'm going to be back over, I'll be around. Keep an eye out for notifications and stuff. Until then, I'm so sorry for anything you're going through if I've made you feel a certain way. Thank you for being a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful being and lending your energy to this circuit that I hold so dear. Thank you to your guides, my guides, the Ascended Masters, angels, whatever energy has been involved in helping us find these clear, concise messages for our greatest good, whether it be right now, in the near or distant future. These readings are timeless. If the title calls you in, if all of that happens, then they are for you. I love you to the moon and the stars and to infinity and beyond and back, and I accept this, and I hope you do too, but if not, it's totally cool. Catch you next time.